Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Luxe Leap. I have a very special guest here with me today and I'm super excited for you guys to all meet her. Her name is Lissa Forsterer. She is the owner of Cheerful Persistency, something you're going to hear so much more about here in the next few minutes, but she's also a long-time biz dev lady within the agency space. So give it up for Miss Lissa. She is going to just drop so much knowledge on what it feels like to grow a really profitable business. Welcome, Lissa.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate you having me on your show.
It wouldn't be a show without you. That's just simply how we're going to look at this.
Well, I love it. Us women coming together is just to talk all things business, and doing our own thing as working mamas too is a special thing. So I appreciate you.
Oh, well, thank you. So I'm going to dive right in here and ask everyone's favorite question, which is, what inspired you to start your brand? Give us a brief Reader's Digest version of your company story.
So my brand actually started in 2012. I did not activate it until probably 2000, but the story is very important about how the brand, because I quietly was nurturing this baby. I have 2 daughters and a stepson, and I had this fourth thing over here. I grew up since I was 18 in the creative agency world, and I came up on the client services side, account side, and ended up really loving the whole go land and expand, go after new business, like just nurture, find all the people. I'm in Portland, so Nike and Intel are 2 clients of mine in the backyard, but you land in those corporations and you get into meetings and you're realizing, okay, there's like 85 people on the email that just got CC'd, like, who are they? And so I would do hey, Bob, I'm Lissa, let's go have coffee. So I did that for since 2000. And at one point, one of my clients, Pam Didner, I'm going to give her a shout out because she's amazing. She was at Intel and is no longer there, but one day she said, and I would do work for her off and on, she wasn't a huge client, but like this and that, and over the years. And then one day she said, Lissa, I sent her an email. She goes, I love that you check in with me in between work. It's not just about the product. You check in with me all the time. You're like, hey, how are you? How are the kids? How's family? She goes, we may not have had anything going on for 6 months or a year, but you check in. And she goes, you're so cheerfully persistent. And I said, that's me. It hit. And I trademarked it. And I said, I said, it is me. And I said, because I am. And I go, why be grumpy? Or like, why not? But I go, in my job, it takes like 15 freaking emails and follow-ups to get somebody to respond. Even to my most favorite clients ever who do want to meet with me, people are busy. And so it was a natural thing of like, that's my way. And it kind of was like, that is my way. And it's not just about work. Like I mentioned, I have 2 daughters and they played sports growing up, and I was always on the fundraising committee because I'm in marketing or advertising. People thought I'd be really good at that. So it takes, again, 10 times to get the dentist to respond to the give me your $100 for the thing. So it's an attitude I have, but it's also, it is how I have been successful in my business and in my role. Which then in 2020, when I decided to make it be a real thing, it's my attitude and approach I coach and share with my clients.
I love that. And I just, like, it's true. I don't know how we ever talked about this. I used to also do business development within agency, and was the director of growth and connection in those spaces. And you're right. Like, it takes a lot of relationship building, takes a lot of reminding people that you're there. And it takes more than one time. And this is kind of funny to admit, even though I know how to do this, Lissa, you're an expert in this. I actually realized the other day, I was like, there's something about following up that scares me. And I don't know what it is.
It was the hardest thing for everyone to do, myself included. It's a head game. It is hard for everybody. I don't care how cool you think you are. It's hard.
It's hard.
All the things that start going through your brain, like going, it's a time. I mean, no, like it just, there's something about it. Like, to your point, you have all the, it's a human thing. It's hard for everyone, but you have to do it.
but you have to do it, and you have to do it with persistence and cheerful persistence. And so it it's just a really a wonderful thing to and a beautiful story on like what that looks like and being honored for it. I think is also, so many times it's like unfortunately as women, um we're almost conditioned that we have to have permission in some type of way. And so that like almost gave you permission to have cheerful persistency, even if that wasn't like a feeling. It's like, oh wow, that is me. Like I own that. And it's amazing how people see you
And
from the outside.
and it was a way to say, like, I want to make my job joyful. Like, I love what I did. Like, I naturally, and I was always a natural working mommy too. So there's a whole other thing to that. Like, I didn't want to be stay at home mom. Like, I loved what I did, and I did find joy in it. And so it wasn't fake or false. It
Yeah.
was, it was just me loving. So, so back pre-COVID, back in the day, folks, when we drove downtown to be at your desk at 8 a.m. from Wilsonville, Oregon, I drove 45 minutes, got to my desk, and then, did stuff. I hated being in the office. And so if I could go get myself coffees and lunches and dinners and things, and I could get out of there, that was my happy place. And so also it was like, it was self-serving in a way that now I reflect on. It was like, I just knew I need to go be in front of people.
Yeah.
That was my happy place. And whatever way it took, whatever shape or form, it didn't matter if it was about the sale. I never really worried about the sale or the money. I worried about being in front of people and just staying in touch and checking in. Also, it's also a checking in thing. How are you is a thing. That's my 3 words that I use that are so powerful all the time. It's how are you? And if you shut up and let somebody respond, you're going to be amazed as to what you hear
What you learn.
and what you learn and what all it is. I have known things about clients that you didn't know you wanted to know, but the trust, the relationship was there. And yes, it led to business things, but more importantly, it led to healthy personal like relationships. Like we
Yeah.
were friends and business associates.
Yeah. That's incredible. When we look at this and we like look at your journey of like getting in front of people and being a mom and working and being a mom and owning a business is just it's no joke. I
We're
want
living
everybody
it.
to know that.
Yeah. We're all living it. You're living it, especially.
Oh yeah. Nothing like owning a business and having an 8-year-old to humble you, to say the least. What was a pivotal moment in your brand journey that really defined where you are today? What that made that happen?
Oh, yeah, no, there's definitely. So like I said, 2012 that happened. I left the agency I was at. I've been there 12 years. Had a little meandering of like, I went to actually Intel for a year. One of my clients, I went there for a year. I was like, oof, corporate, no, back out. Kind of bebopped around a little bit, but Kent Lewis, who used to own Anvil
I
Media,
love Kent.
I love Kent. Kent's a dear friend. So I've known him since 2000. He had me on his advisory board for Anvil Media around biz dev, and and so I would meet with the team, and it was probably like 2018, I would say 19. There was a moment where every quarterly meeting he would complain about sales were down, clients were leaving, whatever. There was struggles, and I finally was like, "Can we just talk for a second?" I go, "What are you doing? Like, what do you do to like you?" Because I said, "Because Kent Lewis, Uber connector. Like he was Uber
Oh yeah.
LinkedIn. He was like the G, the OG of like that." I said, "How are you not like everybody? My God, like how are you like not just like having this all happen?" And long story short, it ended up being I was like, "Kent, are you not just like reaching out to your 20 VPs of marketing? Like you have like 1,000 of them in your LinkedIn
Yeah.
collections. Like let's just pick 20 every week and like, hey, how are you? Can we check in and have a call?" He was like, I don't do that. And Kent Lewis gets on stages and talks to like 5,000 people as though
We're still supposed to go get French fries.
so I shall him could join you. And so I said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Kent, no." I said, if you want to get work on the door, you are so in a place and so empowered. You're already there. I go, "What do you mean? Like you're not just reaching out on the, well, we do an annual survey." Well, okay, no. What are you doing as owner to just connect and reach out and be like, "Hey, how are you? How are we doing for you?" And like, what else, and then even to folks you're not. He's like, I could, because I'd rather like barf in yeah, I would not. And I said, okay. Okay, friend. I said, here's what I'm going to ask you to do, and he's told this story too, and he will have him on, and he'll support this. I said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick 20 people, VPs of marketing. This is a Tuesday, and I said, here's the note you're going to send them. You're going to say, hey, Bob, it's been a couple years since we've chatted or talked. He doesn't use chat, so we've talked. I'd love to catch up with you. Could we find 20 minutes in the next few weeks? Okay. I said, in-mail that to 20 people and just tell me what happens.
Yeah.
And so, as we know, Kent Lewis, I got an email on Friday with a full data report of activity. He did that, and then he did it a whole bunch more, and he was like, Lissa, I did that, and the response I got, then I did more. He goes, I have 3 proposals. Da, da, da. The next week, he was like, I secured my biggest client ever from an agency. And it was because he just reached out and checked in with the people he already knew.
You already knew.
So he was like, Lissa, you need to make this a thing one day. And again, in my world, like I knew a lot of agency owners in Portland, like whenever a reorg happened or like a client walked out the door and they were like, shit, like I don't have anything in my pipeline, my phone would ring. Like people would say, Lissa, how do you know everybody? How do you always know what's going on? And you have like, and I go, well, my number one job is revenue generating activities every day. Like in my morning, the first thing I do is I am reaching out, following up, checking in, and I do it every day. I have for years. And he was like, you need to teach people how to do this. And like, this is a thing, like it actually works. It's again, data driven people like him too, to hear the softer side of like things. He was like, it works. And so I said, huh. And then COVID happened and this and that. And then I finally did. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. So I just like did a thing and I started making up it all starts with like, an agency's hurting for sales or revenues for a reason. Where do they want to go? What's the needle? And I always start with, let's just audit. Who do you already know you're not working with? Are the current clients being maximized? And let's start reaching out. It's the words. It's the what to say is the biggest thing that people, that's the goal. It's like, what do I say? So I feed them that and I give them all sorts of ways to do that and make it their own voice. And then it's the tracking okay, I did it on a week ago. So now a week and a half, I'm going to do a follow-up and I'm doing a follow like that's the crux of my consulting is messaging and teaching them how to be consistent and accountable to themselves and follow up, which they're not. Like you hire a trainer at a gym. If you don't show up for those sessions, you're not going to do your workout.
Yeah, it's true.
And so if I don't have Friday, you have to come in and tell me that you did your 20 things. Many of my clients, we just do the work during the session. They're like, Lisa's my time to do my 50 or my 30 whatevers. We turn the cameras off, we sit there, they do it. But Kent Lewis was the one who inspired me, all the credit to him, to say, you need to make this a thing. And I'm still very involved with him. Now he's, ED of Next Northwest, and I'm on the board with him, but he's a dynamo. But he gave me the kick in the butt to like say, girl, go do this. Like, you just, and it seems so simple. And that's what the people say, like, well, it's so simple to you, but it's not simple to everybody else.
It's not simple. Kent and I actually once hosted a award show together. It was quite a funny.
I'm sure that was amazing.
It was actually during COVID. We had taken the American Marketing Association awards and streamed them, and so we were together in person, but we still had to stand 6 feet apart, and like we're very people. So
yeah,
it was quite funny, and I have many funny Kent stories. And probably all not appropriate for this podcast, but I'm being 100% honest, everybody. I did once paint the back of his wall for an NFT. Were you there too? I painted
a gray square. But yay for you. Good.
I painted a gray square. Anywho, I say all this to say that you're right. It is doing those little actions. I actually have a freebie called like the Luxe Client Cheat Sheet. And that's literally it. It's like make a list of 25 people. And then like, here's what you send out to them. And here's where you send it out. And I always have made the joke, especially when I'm coaching or consulting clients and I'm not doing the done for you brand work, or we're in those pieces where we're starting to talk about that, where I'm like, oh, nobody actually pays me to color for them. They pay me to hold them accountable. That's it. Like I could tell you how to do everything I do for free.
Right.
In some way, shape or form. You can listen to this podcast and start piecing it together, or read all my content and start piecing it together.
But they won't do it.
But exactly. very few people take action, and very few people take consistent action.
Yeah.
And so it's that idea of like, how do you keep going? I mean, like you said, I struggle with it. Sometimes you've struggled with it. Like the follow-up is hard and that consistency is hard. And you need a partner, which leads me to my next question. As women business owners, we almost sit like in a silo. I think in the beginning of the year, this year, I like was in tears. I felt like I had no friends, which is not true. Um, but it felt that way. So how, with cheerful persistency, how do you go into that feeling of loneliness that is almost inevitable, especially when you're just starting out?
So again, I think take action to intentionally pull a tribe of people around you. And by doing that, it can be just intentionally reach out to 5 people, a text, an email, ask to get on a Zoom call, meet for coffee. It can be whatever it needs to be, but just that human like checking in, it can do so much to just like take the, especially others that are doing similar things where we're all, and again, what's amazing right now is, again, teeter, amazing and a curse. There's so much information coming out at us around owning your own business, starting your own thing. Like I have a number of women on podcasts that I follow and been inspired by to do this, which has helped. So that's been my actually saving grace. And I don't know if I would name them or not. I could put them in the show notes for you, but I make it an intention to say connect somewhere somehow, because it's kind of like we're saying it's a double-edged sword. Like I want to work for myself and I don't want to go commute and I want to be at home and I don't want to walk my dog when I want to do whatever. Then you're like, oh shit. So it's like, be careful what you ask for, right? Because I asked for this. And so you have to then create then that other, and again, it takes intention. It's just like the fall. It takes intention to go, okay, but there's so much available to us. So whether it's tapping into podcasts that inspire you and make that be the morning a ritual to start your day. I personally walk outside for 45 minutes every day. I need, with nothing in my ears. I like to do a solo walk in the fresh air, not with my dogs. My dogs sniff the whole time, so I do it by myself. I do the dog walk separately. But even that, like, it's like creating space where you're like, okay, positive energy is what again, cheerful. So again, the podcast, but also even if it's 2 people, reach out and check in, just go, hey, how's it going? Like, I hope your week's going well. Mine's nuts. I hope, too. Just even that little back and forth really quick, it does something to our brain that is like, okay, like I'm connected, I've checked in. And also people love being checked in on and vice versa. So I always say, if I give, I always give back a million times more. If you put a little bit of sugar out there, it's like, but it is, I think it does take intention. It's not for the faint of heart to do what we're doing. I will say that too. Some people are not cut for this, and that's okay, right? Like, but some of us are, and some of us have the guts and the strength to go like, I would rather power through this than do, be in stupid meetings in a corporate conference room with a bunch
Could have been an email.
Could have been an email. But I think there is, but it does take intention. And I think the whole COVID thing, whatever that was, but what came out of it is the LinkedIn, the social, just the way people are organizing online and social, like it feels it's close to human, face to face and in person still happening now more, but there's just not, everyone's used to just connecting online. Like it's totally normal to reach out to a stranger and go, hey, nice to meet you. I see, like, can I grab 20 minutes to just learn more about your role at XYZ? Yes, that'd be great. Like that's so normal. When a few years ago, that was not normal. But I think so. Again, I think you got to have a little bit of kick yourself in the pants. How about that type of? But also, like what I do too is like figure out what motivates you and excites you. Also, I work in silence at home, but I have a candle lit all the time, and I like citrus. So I'm an orange, citrus, cinnamon type person, and my work environment needs to be. That's how I get so much stuff done. Others need chaos and music and they need stuff, and so I think figuring out too, like, where is your most productive way of working, and then protect that time, protect that energy, and again, pick your 5 people to reach out to, or find your connection. Find every day, find a connection to other humans than your own home.
I agree with that 1000%. And it's so funny that you said that you also work in silence.
Mhm.
Because I'm pretty sure people outside of our four walls, I guess technically eight in this moment in time, they're not going to say that we're quiet people. They're not going to say that we're passive people. Like we are
Yeah,
outgoing people. You almost have to be in those types of roles. But I too, I work in silence. I do not do well in an office in any capacity because I'm over socializing and then nothing gets done.
correct.
Never once stepped into a co-working space. I hear it's where I should be. Probably will never be. The best brain power happens in this room,
Mhm.
or on a walk. I feel like I do a lot if I'm in movement. So if I'm dancing, if I'm on the Pilates reformer, or I'm walking in the woods because I
Mhm.
live right next to the woods.
I do. I have a big part too. Like walking on a trail is it. The amount of things that happen in our brain, personal life, work life, I don't care, whatever, get processed and like thought through. I used to call my mommy Prozac when I used to run a lot. I used to do marathons way back in the day. I would run because I mean, and it was just my outlet. So now it's just fast walking. But
Yeah.
it does something really, really magical to our thought processes around our businesses too, and like
Yeah.
ideas and inspiration and like, oh, I forgot. There's a lot of reasons why to get outside, get out of the house and get off the
Yes.
computer and don't Zoom. And um, other thing you kind of said too, I have a day where I do not have calls. I need a day of no, I try to really
No
minimize
human interaction.
time. And I print out stuff. Like I'm also like, even just like pen to paper, like just let your brain go and like get your thing and like just flow and just write. And it can be messy, but get off the computer
Yeah. No,
is
I agree.
huge.
I print off everything. Like I could pick up binders, like very close to me, of full on things that are printed out. I'm a tree killer. I got four notebooks here. They're not just aesthetically pleasing. They all have a point and
Yeah, you
purpose and
have a
a different
reason.
use, as well as the amount of sticky notes that have
Oh,
littered.
girl, I'm sticky notes. Well, I don't color. No, I don't have my moleskins on over here, but it's a hot mess. But yeah,
It's, I mean, and it's organized chaos is what I call it. But like when all of that's happening, I really do believe that if you feel stuck, get out and move.
and
Movement
just
will
even and
stick
like
you.
and reach out to the one person. Like we always have. Like I have a list of like my friends, whatever these women, and there's some men too, though too. That, who am I? I can just like reach out to. They're gonna text you right back, and it's gonna be joyful, and it could be. It's not about anything. It's just like, hey, what's going on? How are you? I've been thinking of you. Like I hope you're. And
Yeah.
it just gives you that little like lift because again, it can easily start to feel very isolating working in this amazingly digital world. It allows us again to work wherever we want and not have to commute. It's like, yay. And then, ooh, wait,
Yeah.
okay, what?
It's a double-edged
um,
sword. It is.
it's yeah, but I think just being and having the just taking action, like you have to like again, you got to put a little bit of skin in this game, and so do the five things you would have in a normal office. You would have bumped into five people getting coffee and just, hey, how are you? What's going on? Like, how was your weekend?
Create your own water cooler, everyone.
Yeah,
Create
create
your
your
own
own
water
water cooler.
cooler.
Yeah, but don't go on Slack because that gets to be your day.
I'm not good at. I'm not. Um, we don't need to turn this into what Raylan is not good at. Just
Okay,
know
I know.
there are many things. Black is one of them. So let's look to the future.
Okay.
As we're starting to wrap up, what are your long-term goals for expanding your brand's impact?
I am so again, some of the core things that I love to share that I feel like does when I work my clients, the needle I move is I get them taking charge in a proactive way of their new business.
Yeah.
So you can do a million other things to market your agency that you have no control over once you do it. I always say, like, what can we control? Our control is our action. So again, it's the outreach, it's the follow up, it's the email, it's the thing. Um, that's what we can control. And I know it's a numbers game. Sales is a word, people, and you're in an agency owner, you're in sales, but you're going to try to get clients.
Do it.
We can call it agency growth too, or partnerships is the new word, but it's like, okay, we're in sales. And so
Thank you.
my goal is that, and again, I am so like in this little focused area of one, you need to do it. So figure out the who, figure out what you're going to say and what you want to, like, are they right for it? And do you have a right to, are they really a client you want to work with? So we define all that, start the ball rolling with, of course, the who you know, first and then define the cold. And I've gotten plenty of clients with cold outreach on LinkedIn. I don't care what people say about cold. It's alive and well, works fine. Just you have to do it the right way. So the messaging is the words. My goal long term is to turn that and some progress into an online bite-sized little course version of it that can just be accessed at a price point that's super okay for our solo creative and designers, especially my creative-led agencies, and that's my world. This does not come naturally to them at all. And so they're the ones that need just that little bit of like guidance and structure and the tools to go. And again, they don't need a lot either. Like you need 5 new clients or 2, like, but here's just, if you do these things for like a little bit and do it consistently, you're going to be okay. And you're also going to be successful at your kids' fundraiser for the soccer team too. So my biggest goal actually is to turn this all into my way of doing things into bite-sized little pieces to an online course that is in motion to scale and make it be evergreen so that one, it can just have impact and people can go make that part of their business and be not so yucky and help them just be stable in their businesses and thrive for their families and their personal selves. My children are older. At some point, GMA is going to happen. It's weird to say, but it is. I want the freedom to be able to go do what the hell I want. I've worked my ass off since I was 18 and 35 years doing stuff. I want to be able to like golf on Tuesday and not feel bad. And so having that, I love my one-on-one coaching, but to have something that's living and breathing, that's just an evergreen revenue stream. And again, I tell my children right now, multiple revenue streams is a mandatory thing for your life.
It is.
Period. I don't care what you're going to do. You have to. You cannot rely on a paycheck from someone else anymore. So I don't care if you sell eggs or grow honey or what the hell. Like
just selling eggs, you're making lots of money.
Well, that's true. If you have chickens right now, you're like rolling in it. But no, but that's my dream. And that's my dream is to make it be an online course. And again, I have a few women that inspire me a lot in business. Is it okay to mention their names? I don't even know. Can I? Okay, I will tell people because I will, and I send this out to my friends. There are some women that have drastically impacted my confidence and my mindset in what I'm doing. So
hold on, Lissa, before you say their names, we cannot give Kent a platform and not name the women. Love him dearly, but like this is a podcast for ladies.
Agreed. And so I'm going to list a few. Amy Porterfield. If you're not listening to her podcast, you absolutely have to. She's just inspirational. She's the goat of like just women empowerment, owning whatever your online business is. She focuses on courses, but what she shares is so scalable to anything you're doing. So she's amazing. Renee Warren,
email marketing.
Yeah, she's amazing. Renee Warren, I love. But right now, and also is Mel Robbins. And so the Let Them book is like, again, I have 85 sticky notes in the book, her Let Them book. Have you heard of the Let Them?
I have heard of it.
I will just say.
I haven't read it yet.
Okay, well, her podcast, first of all, start there.
Okay.
And listen to that and then get to the book because she teased the book up a lot. This truly life-changing for me from an emotional mommy adult standpoint. Like, it was like, she's so no nonsense, but what she unveils in that is so simple. It's like, let people think what they want. You're in no control. Stop freaking out about the fact that somebody didn't invite you to the party, or stop freaking out about the fact that your client is an asshole. Like, let him be, okay? Let it go. It's not your job to be in charge of that. And so can you just please take care of yourself and move on? There's a let them and there's a let me part of it too, but it is the most powerful book and message I've ever received in my life. I will just say that.
That is
so please check that out. So those are my top 3, I will say. But Amy Porterfield, if I just need a little smile on my face and like a little inspiration, and her podcasts they're like 15-20 minutes, and she has amazing guests on. Her guests are inspiring. Mel's are an hour long, a little longer, and she has a lot of guests on too. She's very research based, always inspiring though, always take away positive nuggets that not only affect my business, but my personal life as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a sister, all of it. So I think we all need as much inspiration in a positive way in our lives right now. So I soak it up however I can.
That's so true. I am once I was on a coaching call with somebody. It was very, very random. I was speaking for their event and I met them through a different coach. And anyways, I'm on this call with this gentleman and we're talking. And it's so funny that you mentioned Mel. The first time I ever heard of Mel Robbins was somebody telling me that I reminded them of her. And I was like, I don't know who that is, but that sounds great. Now that I know her, I'm like,
I could see that
wow.
in just the punchy.
Oh, well,
I
thank
could
you.
see that, but it's honest. We're just laying it out. It's like it is what it is, people. Like
It is.
it's
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, you know that about me. I'm so direct. Happy, but very direct. So as you look at this, I'm like, let's talk about this course that is going to become inevitable because we're putting it into the universe, and now 100 million people who listen to this podcast are going to want to know where it is. Because I'm going to speak that into existence that 100 million of you want to hear what my folks have to say. What is the marketing strategy that you're going to adapt to support that brand growth?
So my world right now has been small independent creative agency owners, and even pivoting more to female-owned agency owners. It doesn't have to be. I have clients that are male and female. I love them.
Right.
That's my ecosystem there because again, they're the ones that they're uncomfortable in that space, and yet they need to do it. And especially the last couple of years, again, in my world in Portland, the agency, our world here, the Nike and the Intel halo effect on businesses, not just agencies in our area. The reorgs, the layoffs, the changes, the budget cuts have had a dramatic waterfall effect.
Yeah.
And it's left so many businesses flat-footed, not having they don't know anything else but those worlds. And again, yay for you to have that be your successful. Like, who cares? Like, we always say diversify, there's all the things, but in reality, if you're rocking and rolling for 20 years and doing just fine, yay.
Yeah.
So I guess it's to reinvigorate the marketing towards them. But a part two of that of what I realized in talking to people, anyone who is in a relationship, in a job, who their job is to manage like a B2B sales rep. If you are in the construction industry, like for Hoffman Construction, let's make this up, or a vendor to them, and your territory, like you have a territory. Let's just say I have a territory. So my territory is here, and I sell paint and here's my territory, and I sell it to these 25 construction companies.
Yeah.
And you're working for a big company. Those sales reps on the ground that are needing to, in Salesforce, put their shit in every day and then have sales meetings and have their activity accurate and current and have
monitored,
a report out of you've talked to the 30 people and they do not know what to do. And I know this for a fact because my husband's in that world, and I hear his sales calls. And in fact, the manager is like, my husband was like, you need to talk to Lissa, because he was like, so I talked to them and they were like, it's the same thing. It's like, so a lot of I do is like tracking, like CRM or a spreadsheet. I don't care. Spreadsheet is fine with me. Do you know the 30 people that you need to be talking to this week, and you knew that you talked to them 2 weeks ago, and you know that conversation, you know where you need to follow up. You need to just check that thing of like, because all you're trying to do is like check in, get to know them, know when that RFP is coming out, know when the job's up for bid. You got to be on top of that stuff. That activity right there to do that, no one's trained people how to do that. So
there's no process.
What I do is that's exactly what I train people to do. It's like, who is a thing, manage the people, know what your next steps are, like know what I do a Monday thing. What's your Monday work? But track it. You have to manage it and know that that's your job. And to know what to even do then. Like, what do I do? Do I send a text? Do I know? Like, I mean, these guys come in there, they don't know. Construction is kind of a bad example, but it's true. Like, even they need it even more. So for me, the part two of this is like real estate people, mortgage brokers, I don't care, reps for pharmaceutical people. Like, not everyone knows how to go manage their nurturing of their prospects. And
I think everyone needs sales skills. So everybody.
So that's kind of the involvement. I think I see beyond agencies is that would be my world.
And I know they need it. But I'm going to agree with you. Almost in every role that I've held, nobody has a process around that. And then you see sales folks get turned out of companies really, really quickly. And I don't think that's necessarily their fault, but the lack of training that they had in order to be
And the
effective.
expectation of how long it takes, because 8 to
Yeah.
12 touch points right now, if you're doing it every other week, like right there, I mean, you can't do like a sales, no,
No.
software people, no offense. Every 2 days screaming at me does not work on emails. So you're like,
Oh.
if you pace it out, it's like it takes time and the nurturing, and the sales cycle is way longer. It's the goal is to be get awareness, build a relationship so they already know, love, and trust you when the time comes where they need to make a change and pick
And
you. Like
and you
that's
have to
the
stay
goal.
top of mind.
Yeah, that's it. It's top of mind.
So, I mean, it's almost fair to say that every single time when you're like, "Oh, it isn't working," and it's been 6 months, you almost are cutting like, you're cutting a sprout and treating it like a weed, and then you're starting over again.
Yep.
And, you gotta give time for stuff to
It's gotta
grow.
nurture. It's gotta nurture and evolve. Yep.
Yeah. And
Patience.
I've seen too many companies make that mistake, large companies, and if you're a smaller solo business, like please call Lisa, but know that you're going to go to a course soon because she wants to golf on Tuesdays. And but really, like that process is hard. That process is very hard, even if you have the skill within it. And so, um, it takes time, and it is like learned behavior. I think some people are like, I'm not a natural salesperson. It's like that's not true. That's
And
not
it's
true.
not about being salesy. It's just about
It's
being
like
human.
it's
Like
about building
have a
relationships and making friends.
conversation. Yeah. Learn how to have it. Yeah. Just make a friend.
I used to tell people that all the time when I would teach sales. I'm like, I just need you to make a friend. I'm not asking you to sign $100,000 to
Yeah,
make a
don't
friend.
talk about it. I tell my people, I go, you're not going to talk about the agency for a long time. They're like, what? I was like, oh, no, no, we are not. There's nothing in this messaging about your agency. It's all about them.
Them.
And then they're always like, and even their proposals, like flip flop it. Like, do you not have 20 pages of me? And then you kind of get, it's like
Nobody cares
everything
about
gets
you.
turned around. And they can already look at your website. But anyway,
Oh my gosh. It's very funny. Before I ask my last two questions for you, last thought process. When I do my brand new to brand breakthroughs that I do for folks, the number one thing that I tell people as I'm going through their digital presence audits is it's not about you. Stop talking about yourself. Even for website copy, it's not about you. And that is a very, very unintuitive way to
yeah,
think about messaging. And so, um,
I
food for
agree.
thought.
Yeah.
If you're interested in that, call Lisa, call me. We'll tell you when you can stop talking about yourself. Oh my goodness. All right, my friend. Are you ready for these like last two power questions? We're
Yeah.
gonna go
Okay.
back. My first question for you is what does a day living a luxurious life look like for you?
Uh, well, I'm an early riser, so up at 6, maybe 5. Hot coffee. Uh, if I can be outside having my coffee, I don't care what the season is. I'm happy with my dog. I also have a rescue dog, a golden doodle rescue dog from a shelter who's 95 pounds of love. Um, I think a slow morning into like, I love to get the news. I like to do some reading. I like to or I'm a business guy. I like to like get something businessy going on in my brain, LinkedIn or read a book or whatever. Um, go on a long walk, eat a yummy, fresh, healthy breakfast of cottage cheese and fruit. And then honestly, a day would be with my husband or my kids, but like I'd love to go to like a lunch or brunch. I love to go and just like I'd love to go to restaurants. So I would love to just go like find like a place that has outdoor seating if it's the time and just go have yummy food and especially if you kind of know people there. I love being social. So we have a few restaurants I like to go to that where we know the staff really well and like it's like cheers. Like it's like
Yeah.
like you walk in and they're like, oh my god, like here's your drink, like here's your like, I love that. I'm from a very small town in Eastern Oregon. I'm from a little town of 10,000 people. And so for me, the best day ever is that like I get to walk in, it doesn't have to be fancy, like, but to a restaurant, I see people and we talk and how are you? And I engage with like, and then, you know, whether it's house stuff, I love to garden or we go and I love to do country drives, but just go do something. With my again family, whether it's husband or my daughters or but my husband and I, we have a lot of fun. I mean, the kids are older, so we love to go just roam around, take the dog, take the country road somewhere, the back way to somewhere, and go let the dog run and walk for a while, and then come home, yummy dinner, get my Lester Holt at 5:30, but he's leaving sadly. But my nightly news, and then we'd like to just again be outside or watch a movie or a show. Like I being with my family and my my people is my luxurious day. I am not a spa lady. I don't need to go do a bunch of stuff. I don't do girls' weekends. I don't like anything like that. I like to be with my people. I think because I traveled so much when I traveled like I was on an airplane. And so being at home, being in my space and being around people I know and love, especially around good food and good drink, and even some live music on top of that would be the best. But
Oh my goodness.
that's me. It's
I
very
get it.
mellow. I have my luxurious day is a very simple. If I won the lottery, I'd move to McCall, Idaho, and live on the lake. That's my dream. Tiny little town.
My goodness.
I know. I'm a country girl. I am a country girl.
I would own my own island and be on the beach every day with Grayson.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
and I'm a sunshine gal. I think we all know that. So, no, I totally get it. Last one, best one. You ready?
Okay.
In one word, what is your primary motivation in business?
Freedom.
Freedom. Oh my God, I love it. Why?
I just don't like to be tied down and controlled by people.
I feel that deep in my bones. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be able to go do what you want to do when you want to do it. And you're right, that is luxury.
That's freedom.
Yeah.
And I want to say financial freedom, but I also have learned that that isn't necessarily like that is important. It's just freedom.
Yeah.
I don't care if I have no money and I'm living. If I'm living in the happy place and I have my little house, like I got my. It's just so funny. Like it just being free, not being so tethered or tied down or feeling like I'm so controlled. I can't make any choices. Like I'm living my life under someone else's rules. How about that? Like, so
Oh my
freedom.
gosh, I love it. Well, Lissa, thank you. I can't tell you how much people need to hear this,
Oh,
because sales scares people. And you're right, it's not just about selling something, it's about building that relationship and what the follow looks like and cheerful persistency. And so thank you so much for all that you
oh my
shared.
gosh,
Um,
I
the
love it.
next podcast, Rex, after you listen to this one. So
Well, I love talking with you. I love being inspired by you and each of us inspiring each other and caring about women out here doing what we're doing. I am always there. I love to connect people. I love to help. Like someone knows someone who knows someone that someone needs help with. Always reach out to me. Anybody. I'm on LinkedIn, Lissa Forsterer, cheerfulpersistency.com. Like LinkedIn's the best way because where it's at, but website, however. But no, I am. I'm there to help, and whether it's whatever way I can be supportive or inspiring. Like I always love to. I'll take a call. Absolutely.
I love it. All right,
Yeah.
everyone. You got to connect with her. I need her
Oh,
to have just like a flood of connections.
well, thank you so much for having me. And I love what you're doing. And I'm excited for you and the podcast and your journey.
Thank
Go,
you. I
girl.
appreciate it.
Okay.
It was a long time coming. All
I
righty. Well, thank you, everybody. And until
you.
next time.
Okay,
Bye.
hun. Take care. Bye bye.